Well, as the first ever UK guest on Léim Thart, I am absolutely tripping to introduce Kara Marni. Welcome to Léim Thart.
Thank you so much for having me. I just want to hear you speak, to be honest, because the Irish accent is literally my favorite in the world.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I'm going to try not to speak too much because, this should be about you and your music. And obviously, I'm such a fan. So I'm so happy to be having you on and chatting to you about everything that you've been putting out over the last few years. I think just to start off quickly, I've decided to do a few nice, fun little quick fire questions. And you might recognize where I got inspiration from them. So I might just start off with, do you still have no logic or is it still only your emotion?
Good question. I would say probably I still have no logic, unfortunately. Um, thus, unfortunately, old habits die hard.
And what gets your confidence 10 feet high?
What get can I even speak? What did I just say then? I would say when I'm looking cute, when I've got my like girls around me and um I'm surrounded by good energy. That I'd say that's probably what makes me feel like I can achieve anything.
Oh, we all love to hear it. Name something that you are so good at that it's like second nature.
Probably, well, I'd like to say music because that is my job. Singing. I guess that singing is second nature to me now at this point. I could sing before I could speak. So to be honest, that's probably the most suitable answer.
I can definitely vouch for that one. What makes someone lose your love?
Ooh, good question. What makes someone lose my love is someone that is not loyal,
Hmm.
someone that is disrespectful, someone that is egotistical and only thinks about themselves and is never selfless, always selfish.
Very good answer. And finally, which song is your favorite classic Marvin Gaye?
Oh, it has to be Let's Get It On.
Amazing. I've been listening to Sexual Healing a bit this year, and that always is just
Oh,
good for a little dance.
yes, 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 yes. I think that one is good for like, when you're like, you've got your friends round and you're about to just like have an amazing night when you're getting ready. Like,
Hmm.
that's always a good one, like before you go out, I feel.
And we're finally starting to like properly do that again. So absolutely perfect. Well, Cara, so happy to have you on. I was only just saying earlier about how first time I saw you was when you opened for Ray in the Academy in Dublin, and it was great night. Obviously, like you were such a good support act, and I was saying it was the night before my 20th birthday, so it was like a perfect little last hurrah. And ever since then, there's been lots of music. There is Love Just Ain't Enough. Have it right here.
Yes. Oh my God, you have it.
Yes. And then I'm an All or Nothing stan. Just have to get that out there. I adore it so much.
Oh, I'm so happy you like that song. I feel like that song was very much I was very, there's when I'm whittling down the songs for my projects, there's always a song and another song that I'm like battling for the place, and All or Nothing was battling with another song.
Mm,
And I was leaning towards the other song, but I'm glad I put out All or Nothing because a lot of people are saying that's actually one of their favorites.
for sure. And then we've had No Logic, and obviously I'm a title track No Logic stan and an All Night Part 2 stan. I love that you had two different versions of the same song on that project. And now we have State of Mind. So this has come about in the pandemic in the last while, and so happy to have new music. And obviously, the fact that things are opening up now, we'll have a chance to hopefully see it live soon. Like, I had my ticket to go see you here in Dublin in the Workman's Club, which
Oh,
unfortunately came like just too late. Like, literally just too late. Not just that, but shout out to Ruth Ann, who was on the bill opening up.
I know we would have had such fun. It's so sad. Like I was so looking forward for that show, and so was Ruth as well. Ruth's my girl, so and she's homegrown from Ireland as well. So that would have been amazing. But I promise you, we're going to be doing like as soon we're looking into now the logistics of how we can make that work again. It's just still been a bit rubbish with all the bloody COVID stuff. It's like a nightmare to organize anything, but we're working on it, I promise, because I would love, love, love to play this EP.
Obviously, it's been a bit messy here with concerts lately, but we're not getting into that because we're talking about how you've been busy over lockdown. You had a few shed sessions,
Mm-hmm.
loved them, seeing the performances. They were such a good pick me up during that initial lockdown period. Loving the leopard print wallpaper too.
IKEA's finest.
IKEA's finest. I'm going to take that down for the next time I have to decorate a shed, which I've never had to do, so I suppose it'll be my first time. But it has brought State of Mind, the new EP, forward towards us. And this started way back, well, as far as we know as listeners, back in January when you announced Trippin'. And I remember that exact day because I got my text to say I had been diagnosed with COVID that day, and it was the perfect
Oh,
perfect pick me up. I was so excited. The one thing interpolation, and I mean the first line I have in my notes about this song is just all caps this song. Like, where do we even start? It is competing hard for my number one on Spotify Wrapped this year.
woo! Well, we'll have to see the proof of the pudding. I'm ready.
It's close.
I will be holding you to that once that comes through. If it's not, I will be in Ireland like that. No, I'm so glad you like Trippin'. Trippin' was very much honestly, it was one of those songs that it was inspired by someone I'd just met before lockdown, and was very much about that kind of honeymoon stage of a relationship. And I'd always wanted to really try and rework Anne Marie's One Thing, because that song has always been a massive part of my life in terms of, just when I heard that song, it was nothing like I'd ever heard before. Even like, especially R&B music, it's a kind of thing of itself. It's like the production with the breakbeat, with her top line, the way she was singing, and I just was like, I need to somehow rework the song. And I tried so many times, and it just hadn't hit right. And I was like, this isn't what I'm really wanting to do. So I thought, why not take the best part of the song, which is the chorus melody, and just rewrite the rest of it, rewrite the verses, rework the melodies for the verses, and that's what we did. And I'm so happy. And literally, I did that over Zoom with the producers, and the first thing I sang was the melodies that you hear. That was literally the first thing I sang, and then we came back and did the middle eight. But pretty much all of it was written in the first time I'd heard the track that the producers played.
Wow, that's amazing. Like, I heard and I was just so ready for it. And then it came out, and the reception has been incredible to it over the last few months. Like, obviously, as I said, if it's competing hard for my number one on Spotify Wrapped, it means I'm playing it all the time. So whenever I've control of the speaker, it usually will get slid in somewhere if someone gives me a chance to cue a few songs. And it always gets a good reception from the groups or the parties, or even people complaining about me constantly sharing it on Instagram. It had such a good reception, and I love all the gold and the space theme in the video. Like, where did this idea for the video come from? It's incredible.
I'm so happy you love that. So obviously, very much, I always kind of think about concepts of the video before, like as I'm writing the song. It's quite synonymous with writing, because I'm always like, I have to sort of visualize things as I'm doing them, if you know what I mean. So
Hmm.
obviously, the first lyric of Trippin' is, do you know the first lyric, the first line?
I'm waking up daydreaming of your face.
Yes, I'm rolling in and out of space when you look at me. So I really
Ah,
wanted to play on that space theme, and I thought it would be really cool to just really push that. So there we are on the moon.
yeah.
Um, and I really wanted it to be that kind of extraterrestrial, kind of otherworldly, even the costumes and everything like that. And yeah, I wanted to push the cosmic and otherworldly galactic space theme. So yeah, we went to the moon.
And was it just as otherworldly having Earth, Wind, and Fire remix?
Oh my gosh, don't even. That's still my peak. I mean, everything since then. I mean, yeah, that was crazy. The fact that they really wanted to work on it, and it's literally all the Earth, Wind and Fire band are playing on it, obviously headed by Vadine, who's their bassist. And it was insane. I mean, they they loved the song, and it was just amazing to hear that they actually felt inspired to play on it, and they're such, veterans at what they do, that it was just a huge honor for me.
And so this obviously was the first song of State of Mind. I really liked the title when I heard the title of it and that it was coming soon and all that. And I've actually never heard it kind of like that sort of play on words before. Obviously, I've heard State of Mind,
Yes.
but I'd never heard it changed into State of Mind, which seems to sort of open up a door to meaning something more personal.
Yes. Oh, I'm so glad. Firstly, can I just say I love how much you clearly know a lot about the music, and I just love how into it you are. And I love, it's so nice to do an interview or podcast with someone that really just kind of understands every aspect and thinks about every aspect, because as an artist, that's what you want. Like, my whole thing with State of Mind is, to be honest with you, it came to me at the very last second. My managers messaged me being like, what is the name of the EP? We need to submit the songs. We've had the songs for a while now. Can you just come up with it? And I was like, literally at the last second, I was like thinking about kind of how I wanted to encapsulate all these songs. And, during the past year or so, I've been in plenty of different emotional states. So I was just thinking about what could kind of sum all of that up whilst I went through writing this EP, and I felt nothing could sum it up better. It's of course, a play on the word on the phrase state of mind. With lockdown and stuff, I think State of Mind felt more personal because it really was what I was going through during that period, from the loneliness that I felt during the kind of lockdown period, and then just the endless self-reflecting I had no choice but to face myself with, and how that kind of impacted on my mental health. And you can kind of hear those themes reflected in Sick of Me, which is a super, super vulnerable song that I wrote for the project, and so on. It's one of my favorite EPs, I think. I mean, I love them all, but like, I just felt like that was my State of Mind's probably my most personal.
And talk of Sick of Me, I get Amy Winehouse vibes off this, which I also get off Gullible from Love Just Ain't Enough, got the CD here, who I know inspired you, continues to inspire you.
Yes.
And obviously people have been thinking about her a lot in the last month or two with the 10th anniversary of her passing, and how this was written in the height of lockdown, not only when we were kind of starting to get fed up with the people around us, whoever people were living with, but it got to a stage, I definitely felt that too, where I was fed up with myself, and it's kind of like you just want to run away from yourself, but you're the one person you can never run away from.
100%. That's exactly it. And obviously Amy has always been a massive influence. I've got her literally above my bed, a picture of her. But I think for me, I did grow up listening to a lot of Amy, and she really was able to kind of tap into that super dark, kind of those darker thoughts and that more vulnerable side. And I really wanted to try and do that with Sick of Me. And I think Sick of Me is literally just me just literally writing exactly how I feel on a piece of paper and just singing it, because it was peak lockdown that I wrote that, and it was just me being so sick of being stuck with my own thoughts without zero distractions. We weren't able to go out and all of that stuff, and it's literally about those conflicting thoughts that you have, and you're just like, you just almost wish you could be a robot at times, where you can just switch off your emotions and not go into deep overthinking, which is definitely what I like to do, especially when I have extra time on my hands, which we had plenty of.
Yeah. And it sounds very much like, when you write songs, obviously you can come up with ideas and you can kind of then join them together, or you can sort of write a load of stuff and then edit it down. But it sounds like one of those kind of songs where you get a thought, you write a load of lines down, and you just hit full stop and you just hand the paper to the teacher and you're like, this is it. I'm not going to reread it.
Yes. No, it's exactly that. I didn't go back and edit the lyrics too much. It was very much just like, that's how I feel. That's, and sometimes that's what happens with songs, is you almost feel like after you do that kind of spillage, you don't want to go in and re-edit, whereas with other songs, I do go back and I do the kind of editing, maybe switching out some melodies, the verses, pre-choruses, or any parts of the songs, and sometimes that's a good thing and it can work. But I think when it comes to these kind of topics, it's best to just keep what came to you initially, because that's the most raw form of your thoughts.
From Sick of You, you are then over you. So were you over yourself because you got over how you were feeling and you're just kind of like, yeah, F you, whoever, whatever way you were feeling in lockdown, or it's definitely defiant, it's definitely triumphant, and love the collab with Tony Ramiti. The video
Thank
looks sick as well. Like, I don't even know where to go from here because there's so many things I could say about it.
Oh, that's so sweet. No, thank you. It's honestly, Over You is one of the most, like, I feel like I needed to put that song out. It's basically about an ex that kind of just senses you've moved on, and for whatever reason, whether they realize they have deeper feelings than they thought, or because, I don't know, they need their ego stroked and cannot take, they no longer have this kind of same hold over you, that they do the absolute most in trying to kind of tap into the better memories that were shared and keep you in that way. But I think that song for me, especially for my friends, is that they keep saying that they need that song to just get over whoever they were dating and stuff. And it's really funny hearing them actually talk about it, because all my friends have such dramatic love lives, and they're always like, yeah, I'm just listening to that constantly to try and forget about him or her or whatever. And I just love that Tony displayed her strong female perspective in the verse as well, like when she's like, back to brand new, like I never even knew you, and she kind of, I don't know, flipped the situation that she was put in by an ex to actually empower her. And I think that's so lovely that we end it on a strong note.
For sure. And it was kind of funny when I'd listened to the EP and I liked the song on the first listen, but I don't know it was quite a strange feeling because the second time I listened to it, something kicked in so much more on second
Mm.
listen, and it was almost confusing to me in a way because I haven't had a song before that somehow, even though it was on quite a high level at the start, took a giant leap up on second listen.
That's interesting. Maybe it's because I always feel like I have to grow with records. I can't just it's really hard to just immediately fall in love. I have to almost digest the first listen, kind of figure out what my favorite songs are, and then go back in.
Hmm.
And when I've like, then I feel like it's home almost, because it's like when you listen to a song, when you listen to a project a second time, it's like, oh, I already know you. I'm just like choosing to listen to you again at this point.
Now, I would have to disagree with you slightly when it comes to Second Nature because when this arrived in August, those opening bars do something magical to me. It's definitely a song to strut to. There's so much confidence in it.
Yes, yes, that is a very sexy, strong, sensual, fun song. And I'm so glad you like it. Second Nature is yeah, I mean the clue's very much in the title. I kind of wrote it about being, so comfortable with someone that being around them almost became like a habit, and one that I enjoyed. And I don't know, we all have that one person in our life where, as I say in the song, you don't have to talk. Some things you don't say, you just know.
I definitely loved it from first listen. And again, there's just something about that bass line right at the start that just sets the tone pretty
Mm-hmm.
well that you're in for something here, you're going to smile, you're going to feel good. And I can hear it being played while people get ready for a night out.
Yes, yes, that's exactly what I wanted. Because I feel like my songs, some of them are so depressing. I mean, like Young Heart, Close, Sick of Me. Like I've got so many songs that are just like about me being kind of sad or struggling. So I was like, I need a song that actually I can feel great writing, and that everyone else can feel great listening to. And yeah, I in the video I really wanted to kind of play on the elements, because second nature,
Mm.
the elements of nature. So I kind of utilize the three elements of nature: fire, water, and air. And it's basically based on how my feminine energy is in control of the elements in the video. And each outfit was designed to help me embody each element. And, it was important to make me feel it was important for my performance.
I love hearing all these sort of descriptions of where the videos came from because I don't know why I don't get to hear enough artists explain what kind of what reference or what lyric from the song was going to, you know, inspire this whole video. Like how you just said, rolling in and out of space. So you go with an entire galactic theme and how you just take one line and create this whole world out of it for Trippin'. And the same thing for Second Nature, because I've been loving the whole, the elements in it, but I hadn't traced it back to that
You
lyric.
hadn't put two and two together. Yeah, it's interesting actually. So I always think, oh, that's so obvious, but I guess it's not when people don't know what's going on in your head. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I love to kind of do that. But yeah, one word, rolling in and out of space, and suddenly that's the whole concept of the video. I'm quite dramatic when it comes to that. My managers were like, "Yeah, I mean, that's you don't really talk much about space after." I was like, "I know, but that's what we're going with because that's what I want to do." So
Well, hey, I don't even have to say if the shoe fits because it does.
exactly.
It does. So State of Mind has all these visuals, all these things to see, and so it's going to hopefully be bringing some shows to us. And I saw you performing at Reading and Leeds. I wasn't there. I saw it on Instagram, unfortunately. But I remember around like May or June when Reading and Leeds was announced, and even I was on a Zoom meeting with a publicist, and we were just talking about how we were seeing the UK open up and nothing was happening here in Ireland, and how Reading and Leeds had its announcement, and we were thinking, do you think it's going to go ahead? And we weren't sure at that stage because everything could change week by week and month by month. But then to see huge crowds at a festival again, even through Instagram, felt really special. And so, like, what was that show like?
I mean, honestly, it was such a incredible welcome back to the stage. Honestly, like I didn't realize how packed the show would be because the thing is with festivals is they're very hit and miss. You don't know because a lot of people at festivals are there to see other artists. It's not necessarily your show where people have bought a ticket to come and see you. It's very much like could be for anyone. So it was just incredible to see. So it was literally the tent was so packed and everyone was there and it was so amazing. The energy was just insane and literally I could see people like singing my lyrics back to me. It was just honestly I'd almost forgotten what performing felt like. It had been that long. It was nearly 2 years since I'd performed. Obviously I did a few like TV performances. I did Sunday brunch and stuff, but it's not the same thing because it's like performing to cameras and stuff. But like actually performing in the flesh with people in the flesh in the audience, I was just like, wow, this is I've missed this feeling, and it just felt amazing. And honestly, like it just reminded me how much I missed it.
And were there any songs that I'd say, were surprised by the reaction, where you thought maybe the crowd would be chill to it, but they started jumping up and down, or that they all knew the words to, or anything like that? Where, like, because obviously you can only do so much of a litmus test when you release music and you read tweets about it. It's totally different when
Yes.
it's live, and then obviously as you were saying yourself, there's a difference between doing a headline show where everyone's there for you, and a festival where some people are at that stage for you, but it's not always clear until you're on stage or you jump down into the crowd. But then there's
Yes.
others hearing you for the first time, and people who are somewhere in between. They know a few songs and everything like that.
Yeah, no, 100% hear you. I honestly, it was the first time that I'd performed Second Nature. So to be honest with you, I didn't expect the energy to be as good for that song as it was, but it's everyone really loved the song. I think because I was on the dance stage as well. I was on the Radio 1 dance stage. I didn't realize that there would be people there that were fully kind of into R&B as well. Clearly they were, but it was amazing performing that and just seeing people just really cheering it on, and they really, really loved it. So it was just great because I hadn't actually performed it before. So it's like kind of important as well to see how people react to it live, because I think live is such a good way to gauge if people, what songs people prefer, because you can always just tell with the reaction.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I've just been to my first proper show since COVID. I mean, I had to go abroad to Copenhagen for it, but it almost was very strange that it felt so normal in a way. I was expecting it to be this seismic change, and as much as it was an outstanding performance and a very magical and amazing show, the aspect of just being there with people singing songs and jumping around didn't feel as weird or kind of as alien as I thought it would. I mean, it was like second nature. Shots. um, so yeah, like, was it strange to be back, or was it kind of a mixture, or were there little things that you forgot that you thought, oh, I forgot how cool this is?
Yeah, I think just the whole atmosphere of just being able to actually bounce off the crowd's energy, and everyone just, oh, there was a whole mosh pit going on, by the way. I'd never seen like that happen so
Wow.
much, but people there was, it was crazy. The audience was wild. I mean, it was more wild than Leeds, actually, because Leeds was a bit more chilled. Everyone was just, I think after Reading, everyone was just a bit hungover from the night before. So but like, honestly, seeing how just they had so much energy, and it kind of makes sense because it was one of the first big shows, that the big festivals that happened, obviously, because a lot of them were cancelled. So Reading and Leeds was one of the main ones that actually still went ahead this year. But yeah, seeing that was actually insane. Like, fully, one side of the whole audience was literally just doing a crazy mosh pit, and I was like, okay, this is wild. Like, I didn't realize Golden would kind of
Golden.
yeah, Golden, but it was the Zed Bias remix, so it was
Uh,
like, it was really energetic. So
I would have said Young Heart would be perfect for a mosh pit.
yeah, I didn't think of that, but yeah, maybe. Yeah, it was crazy. I can't wait to do that again. I wish there were more shows going on this year that still went ahead, because obviously Glastonbury got cancelled, and I am doing a few shows here and there, but they're more like industry stuff, like performing. I'm performing at this Rimmel dinner on Thursday and stuff like that. So it's very much like not kind of ticketed stuff. I just can't wait till I can actually, yeah, bring people to the shows.
I know we've already addressed this, but when can we expect to see you over here? Because with COVID interrupting your last gig at the 11th hour, you have unfinished business on your hands, Kara Marni. We want you over here.
I do. I do. And I honestly, I will be back as soon as I physically can. I have literally been trying to organize that with my team and stuff, but we're very well aware. And I know, because you guys, you there is nothing like an Irish crowd, honestly. Well, I performed a few times in Ireland where I supported Picture This at one point. Yeah, in was it Belfast? Yeah, I think it was Belfast, at the Royal Botanical Gardens. Is that what it's called, or the Botanical Gardens? And then obviously I've supported Rita there, and Ray. So I think it's about time I do my own headline show there. Oh wait, no, I have done a headline show in Dublin, but it was a while ago. So yeah, I know I have unfinished business, and I know that I need to get back, and I'm sorry.
I know I'm here poking you, just being like, get over here.
Like, listen, there's a flight in 20 minutes. Get your butt on it and off you come.
Well, that would be amazing because I need to hear State of Mind live. So
Yes. Oh gosh, saying State of Mind, freaking my Spotify just comes up playing.
wow, I didn't realize I was going to trigger it.
Yeah. I don't understand why that happens sometimes. Do you ever have that where you just leave your laptop and suddenly things start playing and you're like, what the hell? Oh, they're ghosts just triggering my computer.
Whenever I'm in college, if I'm at class, I always make sure that I have like all my speakers on mute before anything happens, because I've had stuff play by accident in, rooms full of hundreds of people, and it's not the nicest thing to happen on a Monday.
No. I hear you.
Well, absolutely cannot wait to digest this more as time goes on. We've had it for about a month, and listen to it more long term as I have with the other two EPs, and then seeing you live. Thank you very much, Kara Marni, for coming on Léim Thart.
It's my absolute pleasure. I've got one question for you, because
Yeah.
I'm always curious for people that actually listen through all the EPs, all the songs. And what is your favorite EP?
Oh,
And actually, Put it in order. I want to know the order.
Oh, this makes me seem mean now.
No, 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 no. I know I know you ride for them all because I know you're a real one. But I'm
Okay.
just curious. I'm just curious.
Okay. Well, I'm going to preface this by saying there's probably going to be a little bit of not bias, well, kind of bias because I haven't sat with State of Mind as long, but I would probably put No Logic first, State of
Mm,
Mind, and Love Just Ain't Enough. And I'd
interesting.
say out of them, I'd say for now, Trippin' is my favorite on State of Mind, and then either No Logic or All Night Part 2 on
Mhm.
No Logic, and then on Love Just Ain't Enough. I'm actually looking at the CD now. um, I was I ride hard for Golden, and I'd say it's a close second to All or Nothing. I love All or Nothing.
Oh my gosh, interesting. You've surprised me with that.
Okay, I'm
That's
glad.
interesting. I feel like that there is that's yeah. I've always had Love Just Ain't Enough as in my top. I think just because it's I guess it was my first, but I can't ever choose. I'm very bad when it comes to people asking me what my favorite songs are. I'm like, they're all my favorite. I can't choose. It's like asking who your favorite children are. I can't
Yeah,
say. Um, but yeah, thank you for letting me know. That is very interesting.
I'm glad. No, any more questions you can ask me at the gig.
I will. I'll get them ready for you.
Perfect. Thank you, Cara.
It's been such a pleasure.